हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So today, 21st of August 2025, the most auspicious Guru Vara, taking the blessings of Guru and Gauranga. We're going to be starting the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the most auspicious study of the book written by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj. It actually, Chaitanya Charitamrita is said to be the postgraduate study. After the study of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, then one should approach Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Srila Prabhupada has very kindly advised us that we can do Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita in parallel. Now that we've completed Bhagavad Gita once, and also we've got the blessings of His Grace Radhesham Prabhu, that we are studying Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We wanted to start it in between Krishna Janmashtami and Radhashtami, right? We all know the significance of how Krishna wanted to know the three major reasons why he appeared in the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani, right? He wanted to understand the glory of the devotional service exhibited by Srimati Radharani, how Srimati Radharani is experiencing more pleasure than Krishna himself, and what are the wonderful qualities in himself that is attracting Srimati Radharani to him. And in order to experience these three transcendental attributes, Lord Krishna, who knows everything, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto, Mata Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha, Krishna knows everything. But yet, to understand these three aspects, Krishna himself did not understand these three. So he took the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani. So this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is a postgraduate study. We beg at the lotus feet of all of our gurus that may we understand this Chaitanya Charitamrita in a proper perspective, apply the principles given by Srila Prabhupada in these wonderful purports in our lives, and thus become better human beings, better devotees for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. May this endeavor be pleasing to Guru and Gauranga. We'll start with the Mangalacharan prayers. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रधायते, कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा, श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. आजानुलंबितौ भुजौ कनकावदातौ संकीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ, विश्वाम्बरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ, वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ. मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं, यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं. परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं. हरिः ओं तत्सत्. गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तडालये, कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you for our first session of Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We will do a systematic study of the book and we'll try to discuss some important points from the purport of Srila Prabhupada. So we'll do the same way as we're doing our Srimad Bhagavatam study. We will first start with the preface and the introduction, and then we move on to studying every verse, synonyms, translation, and purport. And we'll try to discuss the principles given by Srila Prabhupada in these purports. So that will be the format in which we are going to continue. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we will do Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on chapter teachings of Queen Kunti. And Thursday, Friday, we will do Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? And in the sequence of what we are doing right now, what we discussed right now. All right, Hare Krishna. So let me share my screen. We will start with dedication and foreword written by Srila Prabhupada himself on Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this also serves as how Chaitanya Charitamrita came into being. What are these actually? These were actually lectures given by Srila Prabhupada. So let's read the dedication presented to my friends and devotees who like to read my books and who approached me to request that I render the great Chaitanya Charitamrita into English. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Divine Grace, Abhicharanaranda Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, Priyanka Sundarani Mataji, please read. Start the introduction. And then Deval Mataji can read, Shobha Mataji can read. Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Introduction. You went a little high, yeah. Originally delivered as 5 morning lectures on the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the authoritative biography of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami before the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, New York City, April 10th, 10-14-1967. The word Chaitanya means living force, Charita means character, and Amrita means immortal. As living beings, we can move, but a table cannot because it does not possess living force. Movement and activity may be considered signs or symptoms of the living force. Indeed, it may be said that there can be no activity without the living force. Although the living force is present in the material condition, this condition is not Amrita, immortal. The word Chaitanya Charitamrita then may be translated as the character of the living force in immortality. But how is this living force displayed immortal? It is not displayed by man or any other creature in this material universe, for none of us are immortal in these bodies. We possess the living force, we perform activities, and we are immortal by our nature and constitution. But the material condition into which we have been put does not allow our immortality to be displayed. It is stated in Katha Upanishad that eternality and the living force belong to both ourselves and God. Although this is truth in that both God and ourselves are immortal, there is a difference. As living entities, we perform many activities, but we have a tendency to fall down into material nature. God has no such tendency. Being all-powerful, he never comes under the control of material nature. Indeed, material nature is but one display of his inconceivable energies. An analogy will help us understand the distinction between ourselves and God. From the ground, we may see only clouds in the sky, but if we fly above the clouds, we can see the sun shining from the sky. Skyscrapers and cities seem very tiny. Similarly, from God's position, this entire material nature, creation, is insignificant. The tendency of the living entity is to come down from the heights where everything can be seen in perspective. God, however, does not have this tendency. The Supreme Lord is not subject to fall down into illusion, Maya, any more than the sun is subject to fall beneath the clouds. Impersonalist philosophers, Mayavadis, maintain that both the living entity and God himself are under the control of Maya when they come into this material world. This is the fallacy of their philosophy.
Hare Krishna.
Lord
Thank you,
Chaitanya,
Mataji.
thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. The principal tattva that was actually enumerated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Achintya Abheda Bheda Tattva. Right? So this introduction where Prabhupada is talking about how we are also eternal, we are also Sat Chit Ananda. That means we are also eternal, we are also knowledgeable, and we are also blissful. Right? But what is the level of our eternality, knowledge, and bliss? Right? Sometimes we feel very happy having achieved something, but the next minute we receive some news which will make us very sad, isn't it? And sometimes we feel we know everything, And sometimes we don't know what to do. We are completely in doubt what to do, what not to do. At that time, we need the guidance of a guru. And then blissful, right? We all seek ananda. Whatever we do in our life, why do? We do it because we think that will give us happiness, right? But then sometimes it gives us some kind of fleeting pleasure. But most of the times, all of our endeavors, even though it may give us the desired result, the desired success, it results in frustration because we are not satisfied by the success. We want more. Ye dil mange more. We want more, more, more. And the ananda that we experience is very, very limited, right? Because the happiness that we experience through this material senses can never be fulfilling. That is why when we think, oh, this gulab jamun is going to make me really happy, right? After Janmashtami fasting, in the night, midnight, when we get nice Ekadashi, say Rasgulla, right? And we are having, oh, I will have 5-6 Rasgullas, a whole day I have fasted. Let me have 5-6 Rasgullas. 1, 2, 3, the third Rasgulla we eat and then we don't want to eat anything else. We feel like throwing up, right? What we thought will give us so much of pleasure is not giving us pleasure. Why? Because ultimate pleasure is not experienced by the senses, right? So how was it experienced, right? That is what Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate, right? How do we experience real happiness? Although we are eternal, although we are blissful, although we are knowledgeable, yet we are not able to experience the eternality because we identify ourselves with the body. When I identify myself with the body is subject to death. So how do I understand that I'm eternal? So the first lesson we need to understand is Jivera Swarupahe Krishnera Nityadas. For that, the first lesson is I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. Okay, I am the spirit soul. What is the dharma of the soul? Dharma of the soul, just like the liquidity is the dharma of water, right? The liquid, the water can never become solid, right? If water becomes solid, it becomes ice. It will lose its natural property of being a water if it becomes ice or if it becomes vapor. So the liquidity is the essential property of water. It is an inseparable aspect of water. Similarly, the soul or the jiva, the inseparable aspect or the dharma of the soul is to serve. And we need to serve the Supreme Lord. In serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead only, we can achieve ultimate eternality, ultimate knowledge, and ultimate bliss. And that is what is explained by Chaitanya Charitamrita in this wonderful phrase. What is that called? Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. So we are also eternal, we are also blissful, we are also knowledgeable, but we are infinitesimal in our ability to be eternal, in our ability to be knowledgeable, in our ability to be blissful. However, when we connect ourselves with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mamevamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha, right? The Lord is unlimitedly eternal, blissful and knowledgeable. When we connect ourselves with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, initially with Dasya Bhava, then slowly but surely our rasa with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when it is revealed and when we reveal and when we render service to the Lord in that bhava, in that mood, in that service attitude, then we will also experience unlimited ananda. Why? Because we are giving unlimited ananda to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. We can experience unlimited bliss, unlimited eternality, unlimited knowledge. When we understand that I am the servant of the Lord, only in pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead can I experience unlimited ananda, unlimited knowledge, and unlimited eternality. Otherwise, I as a functional unit, like Prabhupada explains in one lecture, that a part of the machine, right, or a part of the hand, okay, for example, this hand, as long as it's connected to the body, it has a function, it has a purpose, it has a value. When this hand gets cut and is thrown on the ground, the body can function without the hand, but can the hand function without the body? Does the hand have any identity without serving the body? So we are all like parts and parcels of the Lord, right? While we breach away from the Lord, wanting to enjoy separately from the Lord also feels the pain. The Lord wants us to join Him and to enjoy eternality, enjoy eternal bliss, and enjoy eternal knowledge with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why the Lord incarnates again and again and again. Right? The Lord incarnates to give us a jalak of that supreme world, of that supreme abode, Goloka Vrindavan Dham, where there is unlimited eternality, where there is which is not bound by time, which is not bound by anything, which is not bound by the three modes of material nature, which is where there is unlimited ananda, where there is unlimited eternality, and where there is unlimited knowledge. So we need to understand only one thing, like Prabhupada says the word, dovetail. Whatever I want to do it for the pleasure of the Lord. Let me dance for the pleasure of the Lord. Let me sing for the pleasure of the Lord. Let me speak the glories of the Lord. Whatever I want to do, I don't have to change the activity. My activity is equal to an activity of any other person in this world. But what changes is consciousness. That's why Prabhupada instituted the name of our society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So we all want to come together under the umbrella of ISKCON to purify our consciousness, to do everything in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be conscious of being servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when we attain this consciousness, then we will render service with love and devotion. And that will be the perfection of human form of life. All right. So this is the essential principle of Achintya Abheda Veda Tattva that will be described. Okay, let's continue reading. Anyone else? Okay, Deval Mataji, you want to read? Go ahead. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should therefore. Hare Krishna. Mataji, unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, Mataji. Dharma Pranam. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should therefore not be considered one of us. He is Krishna himself, the supreme living entity, and as such, he never comes under the cloud of Maya. Krishna, his expansions, and even his higher devotees never fall into the clutches of illusion. Lord Chaitanya came to earth simply to preach Krishna Bhakti, love of Krishna. In other words, he is Lord Krishna himself teaching the living entities the proper way to approach Krishna. He is like a teacher who, seeing a student doing poorly, takes up a pencil and writes saying, "Do it like this, A, B, C." From this, one should not foolishly think that the teacher is learning his ABCs. Similarly, although Lord Chaitanya appears in the guise of a devotee, we should not foolishly think he is an ordinary human being. We should always remember that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, God himself, teaching us how to become Krishna conscious, and we must study him in that light. In the Bhagavad Gita 18.66, Lord Krishna says, "Give up all your nonsense and surrender to me. I will protect you." We say, "Oh, surrender, but I have so many responsibilities." And Maya, illusion, says to us, "Don't do it, or you will be out of my clutches. Just stay in my clutches, and I will kick you." It is a fact that we are constantly being kicked by Maya, just as a male ass is kicked in the face by the she ass when he comes for sex. Similarly, cats and dogs are always fighting and winning when they have sex. Even an elephant in the jungle is caught by the use of a trained she elephant who leads him into a pit. We should learn by observing these tricks of nature. Maya has many ways to entrap us, and her strongest shackle is the female. Of course, in actuality, we are neither female nor male, for these designations refer only to the outer dress, the body. We are all actually Krishna's servants. But in conditioned life, we are shackled by iron chains in the form of beautiful women. Thus, every male is bound by sex, and therefore one who wishes to gain liberation from the material clutches must first learn to control the sex urge. Unrestricted sex puts one fully in the clutches of illusion. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu officially renounced this illusion at the age of 24, although his wife was 16 and his mother 70, and he was the only male in the family. Although he was a Brahmana and was not rich, he took sannyasa, the renounced order of life, and thus extricated himself from family entanglement. If we wish to become fully Krishna conscious, we have to give up the shackles of Maya, or we remain with Maya. We should live in such a way that we will not be subject to illusion, as did the many householders among Lord Chaitanya's closest devotees. With his followers in the renounced order, however, Lord Chaitanya was very strict. He even banished Junior Haridasa, an important Kirtana leader, for glancing lustfully at a woman. The Lord told him, "You are living with me in the renounced order, and yet you are looking at a woman with lust." Other devotees of the Lord had appealed to him to forgive Haridasa, but he replied, "All of you can forgive him and live with him. I shall live alone." On the other hand, when the Lord learned that the wife of one of his householder devotees was pregnant, he asked that the baby be given a certain auspicious name. So while the Lord approved of householders having regulated sex, he was like a thunderbolt with those in the renounced order who tried to cheat by the method known as drinking water underwater while bathing on a fast day. In other words, he tolerated no hypocrisy among his followers. From
Hare
the
Krishna.
Chaitanya
Thank you, Mataji.
Charitamrita, Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you, Dharma
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Thank you so much. So, Lord Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? There is a very wonderful verse which says, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sikshartamekah Purusha Puranah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shareeradhari Kripam Udiryastamaham Prapadye. Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear? Of course, we will come into the external reasons for the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the internal reasons for the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But this verse, in a nutshell, it tells us, Vairagya Vidya Nijabhakti Yoga. Right? Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, what does he say? Sarvadharman Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam Vraj, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo, Mokshishami Mashucha. Like Prabhupada mentions here, surrender, surrender, surrender. How to surrender? We don't know how to surrender. So how to surrender is what is practically demonstrated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? One of the reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared is because Advaita Acharya was shouting in a loud voice, Ahankara Garjanadi, Garbahari Gaurabha. Right? So, oh Krishna, these people in this age of Kali are so immersed in material sense gratification that you have to personally come to deliver these people in the age of Kali. So he worshipped the Shaligram Shila with Ganges as well as with Tulasi. And he invoked that the Lord appear. So that is the reason the Lord appeared. And he was an embodiment of Vairagya. Right? Like Prabhupada mentions here, at the age of 24, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived only for about 48 years in his earthly Leela. In 48 years, in 24, at his 24th year, he took sannyas. Right? Why did he have to take sannyas? Right? Because he wanted to teach people, because people were respecting sannyasis, and he wanted his words to be heard by the people, and he wanted the people to follow Sanatana Dharma, and which could only be heard and implemented when he took sannyas, because there was no respect for any other person. People used to consider him as an ordinary person and used to fight with him, debate with him, etc. because he was a great scholar, Nimai Pandit. Right? But when he took sannyas, then only everybody started paying obeisances to him. This is India, we are talking about 500 years back, isn't it? But now, even that respect for sannyasis is not there. But why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas? To teach people what is Sanatana Dharma, to get people's audience, to make people listen to him. He had to take that garb. Right? Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. So, he did not merely renounce everything. What did he do? Nija Bhakti Yoga. Right? Detachment to Maya, like His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu always says. Increase Krishna time, reduce Maya time. Increase Krishna time, reduce Maya time. That means our Vairagya is increasing to the extent we are developing Anuraga to Krishna. The more you develop attachment to Krishna, the more detachment to Maya will automatically follow as a consequence, as a byproduct. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. Sikshartamekah Purusha Puranah. Right? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Who has come to simply teach us this Vairagya Vidya, which is essentially acquired by Nija Bhakti Yoga, by practicing devotional service. Sikshartamekah, to teach this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shareeradhari. Right? That Lord Krishna himself has descended in the form of Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kripa Ambudir Yastamaham Prapadya. I pay my respectful obeisances unto this Kripa Ambudir, this ocean of mercy. The Lord Krishna, who's appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is even more merciful than Krishna himself. What did Krishna say? Ye tamam prapadyate tam stataiva bhajamiham. Right? As you surrender, I will reward accordingly. You surrender to me. Right? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not place any conditions. Yare deke tari kahe Krishna upadesh. Whether or not the person is qualified or not. What are we supposed to do? As the soldiers of Srila Prabhupada's army, who's a Senapati Bhakta, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's this Andolan, right? What are we supposed to do? Whatever we have heard, Prabhupada told his initial disciples, whatever you heard from me, just go and give it out to others. What you heard from me yesterday, understand, assimilate, ask questions, get yourself clarified, then go and preach. Right? In fact, Prabhupada used to feel so happy. Right? Once Prabhupada was resting in the evening, one lady had come back from the airport distributing Prabhupada's books. And Prabhupada was so tired at the end of the day. And yet Prabhupada wanted to see this lady who's just come back. And that lady was so excited, right, to meet Prabhupada. Prabhupada himself wants to meet her. And Prabhupada asked her, what did you tell? What was the kind of audience you met? Whom did you meet? What did you tell them? And then when she told Prabhupada that I just explained to all the people I met what I have read from your books, Prabhupada was so happy. So it is not just that we do devotional service for the name of it, right? Because we want to distribute books to please Srila Prabhupada, but we should know what is contained in the books. So we should understand the spirit of the instruction. When we read the books and then we explain what is there in the books, then Krishna will give us intelligence, what to talk, to whom, and what should be spoken, so that we can engage in devotional service, so that we can become instruments in the hands of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am the only gardener. How many fruits can I distribute? But I want so many gardeners who can all distribute this fruit of Krishna Prema, this fruit of Krishna consciousness, right? So in this way, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to develop this Vairagya. What is that Vairagya? Detachment from material, detachment from matter. How do we develop that? By increasing our Krishna time, by increasing our study of Srila Prabhupada's books, by always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, by studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are hearing from a bona fide authority, and by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When we do all of this, we are increasing our Krishna time, we are increasing our Anuraga, we are increasing our attachment to Krishna, then automatically Vairagya will develop, right? Vairagya means renunciation. Renunciation not of the activities, not Falgu Vairagya. We want to develop Yukta Vairagya, right? Yukta Vairagya means utilizing everything, not extinguishing or not renouncing any object, but utilizing everything in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We want to develop the right Vairagya. We want to develop the right consciousness, so that we renounce those things which are not favorable for devotional service, and we accept those things which are favorable for devotional service. So what do we have to do for that? We only need to desire. We don't need to do anything else. If we simply desire to become pure devotees, to spread the message of Krishna consciousness as we have received from the bona fide disciplic succession, Guru Parampara, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Guru Parampara, starting from Lord Sri Krishna until even now it's continuing with the disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. If we simply repeat their teachings, if we follow and repeat the teachings that we have received, then we will become effective instruments in the hands of our gurus to practice Krishna consciousness and perfect our life, Janma Sarthak Kari, and also to preach this message of Krishna consciousness to others. Kara Paropakar. Best welfare activity, Prabhupada says, is to practice Krishna consciousness, and then according to what we have realized, to give Krishna consciousness to others. Okay, let's continue reading. If we wish to become Krishna conscious. Okay, Shobha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Dandavat Mataji, yes.
Mataji, we should start from the Chaitanya Charitamrita we learn how, right? If we wish to become.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we
wish to become full Krishna conscious, we have to give up the shackles of Maya. Or if we remain with Maya, we should give up the... If we remain with Maya, we should live in such a way that we will not be subject to illusion, as did the many householders among Lord Chaitanya's closest devotees.
Oh, yeah.
We
read this paragraph. So why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
from Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Yeah. So we'll just discuss this point also. So why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so strict against this junior Haridas, right? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to set an example, right? Why? Because if we don't have our foundational principles strong, right, then it is like a building. It is like a 25-floor building, 25-storied building. But the building may look very, very beautiful. It may be painted very nicely, etc. But if the foundation is weak, then it is hardly time when the entire building will collapse, right? So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very strict with his disciples. He would not tolerate any kind of the non-following of the regulative principles. Even if they are practicing Krishna consciousness, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was following very, very high, strict levels of Vairagya. Vairagya means, like Prabhupada says, the following of the 4 regulative principles of no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, right? Which includes looking at another woman or somebody who's not one's wife with, lusty eyes. This is qualifies a person to become a human being. It is not a devotee. Right? Sometimes we think, oh, I am following regulative principles, so I am a great person. But Prabhupada says that only qualifies a person to become a human being. Otherwise, ahara nitra bhayamaitunam cha samanyamekam pashubir naranam dharmo hi eko adhiko vishesho dharmen hinam pashubir samanam. Otherwise, you will only be an animal. If you don't even follow the four regulative principles, we will be equal to a two-legged animal. But then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's strictness tells us how it is very, very important to be very careful about following these regulative principles, so that from that platform of being a proper human being, we can develop bhakti by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes. So we have to get the foundation strong. The foundation is the four regulative principles. And then we build on it from becoming proper human beings. Then we build on it to actually become proper devotees. Yes, Mataji. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not allow any hypocrisy among his followers. Yes, Mataji. From the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you're right. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. From the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we learn how Lord Chaitanya taught people to break the shackles of Maya and become immortal. Thus, as mentioned above, the title may be properly translated as the character of the living force in immortality. The supreme living force is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is also the supreme entity. There are innumerable living entities and all of them are individuals. This is very easy to understand. We are all individual in our thoughts and desires. And the Supreme Lord is also an individual person. He is different, though, in that he is the leader, the one whom no one can excel. Among the minute living entities, one being can excel another in one capacity or another. Like each of these living entities, the Lord is an individual, but he is different in that he is the supreme individual. God is also infallible, and thus in Bhagavad Gita, he is addressed as Achyuta, which means he who never falls down. This name is appropriate because in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna falls into illusion, but Krishna does not. Krishna himself reveals his infallibility when he says to Arjuna, when I appear in this world, I do so by my own internal potency. Reference Bhagavad Gita 4.1.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji.
There is a very beautiful word which says Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. That means Krishna as well as all the living entities are all eternal. Nityo Nityanam, and you're all conscious. Chetanas Chetananam. But Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. But one is maintaining all the other living entities. Although the living entities are also eternal, but there is one eternal living entity who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, who is maintaining all the other eternal living entities. Ego Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. And while all the other living entities could be subject to the three modes of material nature, this one living entity, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called Achyuta, which means he is not fallible. Right? Whereas all of the individual living entities are fallible. That means they are susceptible to fall down. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead can never fall down. Daivi Hayesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Right? Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Daivi Hayesha, this material energy is my energy. Right? But one who surrenders unto me can cross over the material nature. But otherwise, this Daivi Hayeshu Mama Maya Duratyaya, very, very difficult to actually cross over the three modes of material nature. Like that. Okay. So let's move ahead. Therefore, from there. Yes. Thus, we should not think that Madhavi Suhasini Mataji, you want to read? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Pranam. Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Thus, we should not think that Krishna is overpowered by the material potency when he is in the material world. Neither Krishna nor his incarnations ever come under the control of material nature. They are totally free. Indeed, in Srimad Bhagavatam, one who has a godly nature is actually defined as one who is not affected by the modes of material nature, although in material nature. If even a devotee can attain this freedom, then what to speak of the Supreme Lord? The real question is, how can we remain unpolluted by material contamination while in the material world? Srila Rupa Goswami explains that we can remain uncontaminated while in the world if we simply make it our ambition to serve Krishna. One may then justifiably ask, how can I serve? It's not simply a matter of meditation, which is just an activity of the mind, but of performing practical work for Krishna. In such work, we should leave no resource unused. Whatever is there, whatever we have, should be used for Krishna. We can use everything, typewriters, automobiles, airplanes, missiles. If we simply speak to people about Krishna consciousness, we are also rendering service. If our mind, senses, speech, money, and energies are thus engaged in the service of Krishna, then we are no longer in material nature. By virtue of spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness, we transcend the platform of material nature. It is a fact that Krishna, his expansions, and his devotees, that is, those who work for him, are not in material nature, although people with a poor fund of knowledge think that they are. The
Hare
Chaitanya
Krishna. Thank you,
Charitamrita.
Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you,
So,
Mataji.
Bhakti, thank you. Dandavat Pranam. Mataji, you can ping me. This is my number. Because I think this is the first time you've joined us. So we'll interact later because we have just 3 minutes left. This is my number. You can ping me. We'll discuss. So Bhakti, Bhakta and Bhagavan, they are all inseparable. Right? Because the Lord is always situated in the amidst his devotees. And Bhakti is the process of devotional service. That is the eternal connecting principle between Bhakta and Bhagavan. So these three are inseparable, right? They say that the Bhakti, Bhagavan, Bhakti, Bhakta and Bhagavan are inseparable, right? We've discussed so many times about that Alvar pastimes. Karpavalli Mataji, I think we'll not have time for you to read. Maybe tomorrow you can read. But we'll just discuss this section, very important. How the Lord is so eager to be amongst his devotees, right? This we've discussed several times, but it is worth hearing again and again, right? What is this? There was an Alvar who was actually going to the temple and it started raining. So what does he do? He goes to a small temple room and he sits there. There's only place for him to lie down. So he was just lying down and resting for a while. He thought once the rain ends, then what he will do? He will walk to the temple. But after 5-10 minutes, another devotee came, another Alvar came. And this Alvar told him that I have also been caught in the rain. I also am going to the temple. Can I also rest with you here for some time? And then we'll go together. So he also stays there. Another 5 minutes, another person comes, and now there is no place. Right? Both of them were like kind of sitting together. But this third person came in, and what are they doing? The three of them are standing in the room. And then they are here. What will devotees do? When they are together, what will they do? They will sing the glories of the Lord. They are thinking about the Lord and speaking the glories. Suddenly they find that a fourth person has intruded in the space. And they don't have space even to stand. And then they realize that Krishna is there. If Krishna's glories are spoken, how will Krishna not be there? Krishna actually forced himself into that place where bhakti is going on and bhaktas are performing the Shravanam and Kirtanam of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavan cannot be far away. And Bhagavan himself came there without even being called, because when we simply glorify the Lord is personally present in that particular place. On that note, we will end our today's session. We will continue tomorrow, being Friday. We'll continue with where we left today on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is the way we will try to discuss the important principles given by Srila Prabhupada. And in this way, we will, once we start the verses, then we will start going through the verses, then the synonyms, word-to-word meaning, and then we have the translation and then the purport. So in this way, slowly and steadily, there is no hurry. We will slowly complete the Adi Leela, then the Madhya Leela, and then the Antya Leela. So this is our plan. Krishna willing, we will maybe, I don't know how long we will take, but we will go through this journey with great humility and with great bliss, with the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. Grantraj Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So we just quickly do a minute's kirtan and then we'll end. Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine